Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kirma Raibutang, and I'll be moderating this session. This is a virtual webinar in Micro, Small, and Medium-Sized Enterprises MSME Day 2021 to explore existing ethical business practices and find innovative solutions for integrating sustainabilities. This webinar is organized by YFEED and supported by Management Association Nepal MAN. Micro, small, and medium enterprises (MSMEs) make up over 90% of all firms and account on average for 70% of total employment and 50% of GDP. These enterprises, which generally employ fewer persons, are the backbone of most economic worldwide. Play a crucial role in developing countries and are responsible for significant employment and income generation opportunities worldwide. June 27, that is today, is celebrated as Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Day or MSME Day. The world observes this day in recognition on the significance of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in executing improvement objectives, including selling innovations, creativity, and promoting sustainable jobs globally. Our meeting will be split into two halves. In the first half, we will offer the floor to our distinguished panelists, who will each have 10 minutes to speak, and in the second half, we will answer all of your questions via the Zoom webinar chat feature or Facebook Live. The session objective is to familiarize participants with the challenges and opportunities in MSME sector, help understand capacity building efforts needed to build a more sustainable and resilient MSME sector, to capture the opportunity within MSMEs through understanding the struggles, successes, stories, experiences sharing. Now, I would like to call upon our speakers. As I mentioned earlier, our speakers will have 10 minutes each, and if any of our participants have any questions, they can post them in the chat box and we will address them during the question and answer round. Without further ado, I would like to now call Ms. Sagarika Bhatta, an environment science and management postgraduate from Nepal. She is a climate justice advocate, researcher, academic tutor, environmental preservationist, and entrepreneur. She is also the chairperson and founder of PowerShift Nepal and ERST-We Nepal. She has been conducting research and publishing articles and was both a former Climate Tracker 2016 fellow and participant in the Asia Climate Leadership Camp 2019. She's also Korean Green Grants recipient. She is the first solo women traveler of Nepali Traveler. Hello and welcome to this virtual live session. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, YFEED and everyone from YFEED for calling me and inviting me for this session and having an opportunity to speak alongside wonderful panelists, everyone including Shilshila Didi. It's my great honor to be here. So giving my introduction, I'm Sagarika and I've been running an NGO and as well as a company recently. I'd like to share a slide few more about what I've been doing. So before I'll talk about the work I've been doing, I'd like to share the experience of how I reached here. It was in 2016 when I participated in a startup where I went with an idea of reusable sanitary napkin, a biodegradable and reusable sanitary napkin. But I had no idea about how does a business run or what do you mean by entrepreneurship. So I think those 10 days was life-changing for me, the 10 days of how they trained us and how they made us to pitch with having no idea what to do and what to talk. I went there, but I was among the finalists, among 80 other ideas and 80 other people. I was the finalist for the Green Generation, which was conducted by WWF and Nepal Entrepreneurs Hub. So that's when the idea of entrepreneurship started within myself. From there, the name itself, We Care Nepal, was the name which came upon the 10 days of event. So I could not leave the idea go away from my head in all the years. So what happened is all the years from 2016, 2017, 18, I tried exploring what could I do more better in the field. So in these years, I tried to explore what could I do. So in 2019, I started a company at the end of 2019, which was December. It was just 2 or 3 months before the pandemic. I registered a company named Environmental Research Service and Training Center. I only registered this having an idea that I'm going to, sell a product and give services. And the training which I've been giving since years was a part of the idea itself. So after I established this, I started selling my bags. So and then within the period of 1-2 months, I also made the plan that, of services, how I will take forward the services. So that's how the company started. So basically, the company looks to make cities and communities more sustainable and resilient. And its mission is that we believe in finding solution to different environmental problem and combating climate change. We basically work to build sustainable cities by developing sustainable solution through products, services, research, and training for future. Currently, we are providing services. In services, we are providing rooftop farming services. And for products, we are scaling up with tote bags and also thrift and reviving of clothes. And training, we have not, after the registration, we have not opened training, but we are planning for the different kind of trainings and course in the future. Research platform, talking about research platform, we basically do research of everything that we are working on, like services of rooftop farming, either it be bag or sustainable fashion. So this is I started the concept of rooftop farming came around in my mind when it was in 2016 or 2017 when I was working in a project, a European Commission project of upcycling of products in Nepal. So in that time, what I did was we had participants from Europe and Nepal, and we made them upcycle products. During that time, we also I had also made them work on farming, roof farming with upcycling of product. Just then, I always had in mind how we can take this forward, how the rooftop farming services can be actually entrepreneurship itself. So since then, I was thinking and exploring myself. So after the company established in 2020, I also got this opportunity to give the services to 24 houses in Kathmandu Valley, the package with full packages of installation and monitoring in future. I also have a prototype of a vertical model which gives maximum production in a very limited space, which you can see in the left side of the screen. And also we are exploring on the technology and finding how we can integrate ITC in roof farming in future. So why roof farming is important in Nepal? If we talk about in context of Nepal, like from in 20 years, like around 200 kilometers square of urban area has expanded from 200 kilometers square to 900, more than 930 kilometers square in Nepal. So all those 93% of the land has been
Okay, so I think she's not here. Hello, are you there? She's not here. Let's wait her for 2-3 minutes. She will come. Otherwise, we have to continue with the next speaker. She's not here. Okay, we will get back to her later. Now, moving on, we have Mr. Rohit K. Pothukuchi, founder and CEO of Verdentum. He started his career with White and Case LLP, a leading international law firm in New York City. He has been a visiting scholar at Columbia Law School and also serves as economics, law, and data senior fellow at the New Markets Lab, a Washington, D.C. based think tank focused on innovation in law and economic development. He serves as an advisor to the Queen's Commonwealth Trust and as an advisor to the Telangana State Innovation Cell (TSIC), a cell of the state of Telangana, India, focused on driving economic growth through innovation in the region. In 2017, he was named in the Forbes 30 on the 30 list in recognition for his efforts in the legal space, a graduate of the UC Berkeley School of Law. Welcome to this live session, sir.
Thank you for having me, Kiuma. It's nice to be here.
The floor is yours. You may continue.
Great. So it's a pleasure to be here, and it's nice to see some participants on. I think MSME is a small and medium enterprises are so critical to economic growth, especially in developing countries, and it's really. I'll be happy to talk about my own journey because I left a career in New York and came back to set up a small enterprise in Hyderabad, and it's grown. We're a tech company, but I'm happy to talk about that experience. So let me share my screen. Okay, can everybody see? I think it's fine.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Great. Let me get this on presentation mode. Okay. There we go. Okay, so the organization I lead is called Verdentum, and we address a problem that many organizations at the grassroots, but even at a larger scale have, which is measuring impact on any initiatives that aim to help society or the planet in some way. And many of us use this term impact quite frequently, but the truth is very few of us actually understand what impact means, how to measure it, and then how to actually take an evidence-driven approach to solving any problem, right? Whether it's something in gender, whether it's something related to climate change or the environment. There are so many projects out there, from workshops to tree plantations to very large scale implementations reaching hundreds of thousands of farmers, for example, in sustainable agriculture. So our technology actually helps many of these organizations simplify their process of implementing any project helping the planet or society, and also allows them to share evidence and data in a very easy manner. Okay, so, right. So what do? We have users in about 45 countries. It is a comprehensive solution for implementing all sorts of social sector projects. And we would like to think it's a pretty cutting edge platform. There isn't anything really exactly like our platform out there. We've built it very specifically for, to simplify this data collection process for organizations, whether you're at a large-scale organization, a mid-sized organization, or an absolute grassroots organization. And we work with everyone from UN agencies all the way to students and volunteers. So there's an entire spectrum of users that we have. And another thing that our technology helps with is actually tracking progress on SDGs and taking an evidence-driven approach towards SDGs. Right, so I'm gonna skip through some of this stuff and show you actually our website. So let me exit this. Okay, great. I don't know if you can see. Let me do this. Okay. Okay. Right. So talk a little bit about how the platform works, how it looks. It's a web and mobile based platform. The way it works is any project you have, you can enter metrics, you can define any impact framework that you want to use. You can put together a logical framework, and then you can actually invite your field staff or volunteers to join your program, and they can start reporting data directly from their cell phone using our Easy app. Now, as I mentioned, this really works from the largest projects with highly customized dashboards and reporting, all the way down to really simple grassroots stuff. So it really simplifies some of these processes. We have multiple versions of the platform. We have a professional platform for very large organizations, and we have a simpler version of the platform for grassroots organizations. We work with a lot of CSR initiatives, so corporate organizations that are doing something on the pro bono side or doing corporate social responsibility. We do work with several UN bodies and organizations, and of course, a whole host of nonprofits around the world. And we do, as a social enterprise, we do a lot of pro bono work as well. We provide our technology as well as consulting to many volunteers and student groups around the world who need help tracking impact and sharing evidence in their work with the rest of the world. Just to give you a quick glimpse of how the platform looks inside, for example, if you have activities like school visits, workshops conducted, as this data comes in through your cell phone, you can actually view analytics of what happened in a particular month, how many people attended, where the uploads took place. You can get a map of users. We have hundreds of possibilities and analytics of what's possible, which I can't share too much of due to privacy reasons, but this gives you a sense of what we do. And what I can say is that obviously starting an organization from scratch can be very difficult. It can seem daunting. But at the same time, it's very rewarding, especially when you cross those initial roadblocks and you start to scale the work and the organization. And for me, it's been very, very, fulfilling to see the applications users grow, to work in more and more countries across continents. And of course, to really give back and be able to do a lot of pro bono work as well at the grassroots. I think that's very gratifying. I would say anyone starting a small or medium enterprise, I would give them some advice, really think through what you're doing. And the most important piece of advice I could give is, find right mentors. I think it's so critical to have guidance from individuals who understand what they're doing, who can help you, guide you through processes, open doors for you. So especially if you're younger, find the right mentors. If you're going to set up a small or medium enterprise, I think that's really critical. I'm happy to take any questions if we have a minute or two left.
There are no questions as such right now.
Great. Well, I'm happy to wrap up. As I mentioned, this is what we do at Verdentum. I'm more than happy to chat with anyone offline. You're welcome to reach out to me with questions. Feel free to contact us. We're more than happy. We're always happy to hear from young students and volunteers who are trying to do something at the grassroots.
Thank you, sir, for being with us. It's an honor to have you.
The honor is mine. Thank you.
Moving on, I would like to get back to Ms. Sagarika Bhatta, as her internet was poor so that she couldn't complete her presentation. Hello, Ms. Sagarika Bhatta, are you there? You may continue.
I'm so sorry. I think my internet is very weak, so I lost the connection. There's nothing much left, but I'd still like to talk about it, though I've taken a lot of time. I'm sorry about that.
No problem, ma'am.
So as I told that I have been working from this company, and we basically give services, and in services we are currently giving rooftop farming services in Kathmandu. And in case of products, we are selling tote bags, cotton tote bags, which we think this can replace the leather bags, which are not good for environment, and also this can replace all the synthetic bag. So we are basically selling this even in the pandemic. In 2020, we just started a month or 2 months before pandemic. Still in pandemic, we could sell some of our products. So next is Sunya, the Zero Fashion, which I also participated in Climate Launchpad and was a finalist, national finalist among 6 national finalists in Nepal. So the idea was actually not about thrift. The idea was more about recycling and reviving the clothes. But due to, as it's very difficult for a startup to, go into the full phase of what they want to do unless they do not have investment. So we are particularly in Sunya, we are just thrifting for right now. And during my journey, what I've is there are a lot of challenges as a startup, as a person who comes from different background and starts a business with having a very less idea. So there are a lot of challenges, limitations, and opportunities as well. So for challenges, what I've seen is mostly, in my case, I've seen lack of investment. To find an investment is itself a challenge for any startup. To create a marketplace is also next challenge, and to thrive in a market, to thrive your business is very challenging. So limitation is, I think, according to my experience, there are a lot of resources that is not available in Nepal. We do not find in market easily to even experiment what we want to do. So that is kind of limitation in our case. So if we talk about opportunity, I think the changing idea itself into reality is an opportunity for us. Having that space that we can change our idea into reality. I think in this network, we can find larger network and similar people, learn from them. We can also participate in a startup, learn so much of things and find investors. It's not easy to find and possible as we talk, but still we have that opportunity. So I think the biggest opportunity is that we are able to give solution of different problems. That is an opportunity, and help people and community and environment by work we do. So I think that is itself great. Not only that we are making profit from our business, or we are selling, we are giving services, but we are actually serving our community. We are giving solution to the problems that we have been facing in our community environment and among the people. As I think that small or big, hard work really counts. The small enterprise, medium, or big enterprise, everyone has been working is hard to make it happen. So I think the hard work is what counts, and it makes possible the consistency, and hard work really makes possible things in the future. So happy MSME Day to everyone, and thank you YFEED for having me here.
Thank you, Ms. Sagarika Bhatta. I'll get back to you in the question and answer round. Now, moving on, we have Ms. Shilshila Acharya. In the crossroads of deciding her career at 19, she had realized the need for more youths to pay attention to environmental issues. This led her to decline a fully funded MBBS scholarship from the Nepal government and instead choose to study environmental science at Kathmandu University. She completed her master's from Nepal and Norway. 15 years later today, her passion to create a positive impact on these issues has only deepened. She is a co-founder of Avni Center for Sustainability, a non-profit. She is the founder of Avni Ventures, a recycling company with the largest plastic recycling network in Nepal, and Hamri Bahini, the Green Angels social enterprise, which since 2013 has created green jobs for 1,350 plus disadvantaged Nepali women. She led the No Thanks I Carry My Own Bag campaign that has been successful in changing policy to ban plastic bags in Nepal. She's been recognized as a promising young social entrepreneur by the Global Good Fund for her work through Hamri Bahini. She was awarded the Conservation Award 2018 by WWF Nepal for her work on fighting plastic pollution. Mrs. Raj Acharya, welcome to our virtual webinar. Are you there?
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and namaste. I'm not going to use any slides. Can I speak in Nepali? नेपालीमा बोल्दा हुन्छ है? Yeah, except for one guest, अरूहरूले बुझ्नुहुन्छ होला. So, आज MSME Day को उपलक्ष्यमा चाहिँ यो कन्भर्सेसन हुन गइरहेको हुनाले चाहिँ म अलिकति आफू पनि यो कसरी यो सेक्टरमा आए र what has been my experience त्यो कुराहरुको बारेमा अलिकति भन्न चाहन्छु. Like as she already said, म आफै चाहिँ एउटा साइन्सको स्टुडेन्ट हो र I never learned बिजनेसको कुराहरु. मेरो फ्यामिलीमा पनि कोही पनि बिजनेसमा हुनुहुन्न, एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिपमा हुनुहुन्न र पढ्दाखेरि पनि मैले कहिले पनि पढिन हैन. सो जुन पनि अहिले बिजनेस एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिपको जर्नीमा म छु त्यो चाहिँ प्योरली एउटा नीडबाट निस्केको जर्नी हो. सो जब 2013 मा चाहिँ हामीले यो प्लास्टिक ब्यागलाई कम गरौँ, प्लास्टिक ब्यागलाई ब्यान गरौँ भन्ने एफर्टमा लाग्यौं. त्यतिबेला चाहिँ हाम्रो दिमागमा चाहिँ के थियो भने लाइक यो जे पनि हामीले गर्छौं त्यो चाहिँ युथ आफैले गर्न सक्ने चाहिँ हुनुपर्छ र यस्तो हुनु भएन कि हामी चाहिँ ग्रान्टमा डिपेन्डेन्ट हौं अथवा एउटा ग्रान्ट ल्याएर खर्च गरेपछि फेरि अर्को ग्रान्ट ल्याउन परोस्, त्यस्तो चाहिँ नहोस्. आफ्नै इन्कमले चाहिँ यो काम आफै सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल होस् भन्ने कन्टेक्स्टमा 2012 मा फर्स्ट टाइम चाहिँ यो सोशल एन्टरप्राइज भन्ने कन्सेप्ट मैले सुनेको थिएँ. सो एनजीओले जस्तो राम्रो पनि गर्ने, सोसाइटीलाई प्रब्लम पनि सल्भ गर्ने, तर बिजनेसको जस्तो इन्कम पनि हुने हैन. दुईटै कुरालाई चाहिँ मिलाएर पनि यस्तो काम गर्न सकिन्छ भनेपछि वी डिसाइडेड यो सोशल एन्टरप्राइजको बाटोमा जानुपर्छ भनेर हाम्री बहिनी द ग्रीन एन्जल्स चाहिँ 2013 मा स्टार्ट भएको थियो र त्यसैबाट चाहिँ त्यही मोडलमा हैन कसरी सोसाइटीको प्रब्लम पनि सल्भ गर्ने, इन्भाइरोन्मेन्टको प्रब्लम पनि सल्भ गर्ने र इन्कम पनि गर्ने, इकोनोमीमा पनि हेल्प गर्ने गर्दा गर्दै अरु पनि धेरैवटा कामहरु स्टार्ट भयो. त्यही क्रममा चाहिँ वी अल्सो गट इन्टु वेस्टको सेक्टर र त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ नगरमित्र भन्ने प्रोग्रामलाई लिड गर्दाखेरि ओभर मेनी इयर्स त्यहाँ पनि आई रियलाइज कि एउटा चाहिँ यो वुमेनलाई ग्रीन जब्स दिने ठुलो एरिया छ हैन. अनि अर्को भनेको चाहिँ वेस्ट सेक्टरमा पनि देयर इज अ बिग प्रब्लम. अनि त्यहाँको पनि सबै एन्टरप्रेन्योरहरु चाहिँ इन्फर्मल इकोनोमीमा काम गर्नु भएको छ र सबै सानो एन्टरप्राइजहरुले चाहिँ यो महत्त्वपूर्ण काम गरिरहनु भएको छ विदाउट एनी प्रोटेक्सन हैन, विदाउट एनी सपोर्ट सिस्टम. त्योहरु जति बुझ्दै गयो, जति थाहा पाउँदै गयो, त्यति चाहिँ मलाई अझै यो सेक्टरमा चाहिँ आफूलाई पनि इन्ट्रेस्ट र हुन्छ नि या यसकै थ्रु चाहिँ लार्ज स्केल चेन्ज गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ बिलिफ अझ बढ्दै गएको र मलाई आज पनि क्लियरली याद छ. आई थिंक इट वाज इन 2013 और कहिले थियो त्यतिबेला चाहिँ त्यतिबेलासम्म मेरो आफ्नो पनि कन्सेप्ट वाज लाइक प्राइभेट सेक्टर भनेपछि बिग कर्पोरेट्स हैन, ठुलठुलो सुपरमार्केट्स अनि ठुलठुलो इन्डस्ट्री फ्याक्ट्रीहरु त्यस्तो चाहिँ सबैभन्दा ठुलो जब गिभरहरु चाहिँ होला हैन. एउटैले 1000 2000 4000 12000 यस्तो जब्सहरु दिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ सुनिराखिन्छ र त्यो भएर चाहिँ मैले सबभन्दा ठुलो इम्प्लोयमेन्ट जेनेरेटर चाहिँ त्यस्तो ठुलो कम्पनीजहरु हुन्छ होला भनेर चाहिँ सोचे थिएँ. तर त्यति बेलाको त्यो रिसर्च गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ पत्ता लाग्दाखेरि इन एभ्री कन्ट्री 70 to 80 up to 90% अफ द जब्स चाहिँ स्मल एन्ड मिडियम एन्टरप्राइजले चाहिँ क्रिएट गरेको हुन्छ कुनै पनि इकोनोमीमा भने फर्स्ट टाइम सुन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई वाज रियली शक्ड. मलाई अहिले पनि याद छ त्यो मोमेन्ट कि मलाई त्यो फर्स्ट टाइम थाहा पाउँदा कस्तो भएको थियो भनेर सो देन आई स्टार्टेड ह्याभिङ मोर एन्ड मोर रेस्पेक्ट टुवर्ड्स स्मलर एन्टरप्राइजेस होइन जस्तो भनौँ न कुनै ठुलो सुपरमार्केट चेन खुल्यो त्यसबाट 5000 जना चाहिँ इम्प्लोइड भयो त्यहाँ चाहिँ एज अ इम्प्लोइ भने सँगसँगै त त्यसले धेरैवटा त्यस्तो सानो बिजनेसहरूलाई नि आउट अफ बिजनेस गरेको हुन्छ जहाँ चाहिँ हस्बेन्ड वाइफ मिलेर धेरैजना चाहिँ इम्प्लोइड हुन्छन् नि तर नट एज अ स्टाफ एज अ ओनर इम्प्लोइड हुन्छन् होइन सो त्यसलाई लस गरेर स्टाफमा जानु भनेको त्यो पनि आफैमा एउटा इकोनोमीमा चाहिँ होइन सेन्ट्रलाइज हुनुपर्छ र डिसेन्ट्रलाइज हुनु चाहिँ राम्रो रहेछ सानसानोलाई धेरै प्रमोट गर्नु चाहिँ राम्रो रहेछ भन्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ मैले आफैले पनि बुझेँ र आज एमएसएमइजकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि अहिले हामी कोभिड क्राइसिसको बिचमा छौँ र कोभिड क्राइसिस इट वाज अ हेल्थ पेन्डेमिक तर त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ धेरै इकोनोमिक इम्प्याक्ट पनि परेको छ जुन वी अल नो होइन सो त्यसले जस्तो खालको रेस्ट्रिक्सन्सहरू ल्यायो जस्तो खालको लिमिटेसन्सहरू ल्यायो र इकोनोमीमा चाहिँ इम्प्याक्ट गर्यो त्यसबाट चाहिँ स्मल एन्ड मिडियम एन्टरप्राइजहरू एकदमै बढी इम्प्याक्टेड छन् र लास्ट इयर वी हेड डन दिस स्टडी र त्यसमा चाहिँ जस्तो अलरेडी एक्जिस्टिङ फ्याक्टर्सहरू छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो सम अफ द सेक्टर्सलाई चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै इम्प्याक्ट गरेको छ जस्तो नेपालको 37% मात्रै वुमेनहरू चाहिँ वर्कफोर्समा छन् काम गर्छन् होइन तर त्यसमध्ये 90% वुमेन चाहिँ इन्फर्मल इकोनोमीमा छन् इन्फर्मल इकोनोमी भनेको उनीहरूसँग कन्ट्र्याक्ट छैन कुनै पनि लिगल खालको बाइन्डिङ छैन इन्सुरेन्स छैन होइन कुनै प्रोभिडेन्ट फन्ड छैन केही पनि छैन आऊ भनेर काम गर्ने दिनसम्म चाहिँ उनीहरूले काम गर्छन् आजदेखि नआऊ भनिदियो भने चाहिँ भोलिदेखि चाहिँ इभन इम्प्लोयरले नोटिस पनि दिनु पर्दैन निकाल्नको लागि सो त्यस्तोमा चाहिँ वुमेनहरू काम गरिरहेछन् त्यस्तै अर्को छ फेरि वेस्ट सेक्टर पनि इन्टायरली इन्फर्मल्ली चलिरहेको छ होइन सो त्यस्तो सेक्टरहरूमा चाहिँ यो खालको उसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलरेडी मार्जिनलाइज मान्छेलाई झनै मार्जिनलाइज बनाएको छ यस्तो खालको उसले होइन जस्तो वी हेभ सिन अब जस्तो सर्टेज अफ र मटेरियल ल्याक अफ ट्रान्सपोर्ट होइन अनि क्यास इनफ नहुनु रिजर्भ सेभिङ्स धेरै नहुनु त्यसपछि लोनहरू तिर्न नसक्नु त्यस्तो बेलामा त्यो सबैले गर्दा चाहिँ यस्तो सानोहरूलाई चाहिँ एकदम मार परेछ र इन द कोर्स अफ दिस के अरे रिसर्च I was talking to some of the small entrepreneur दिदीबहिनीहरू फ्रम नुवाकोट होइन एकजनाले चाहिँ केराको खेती गर्नुहुन्थ्यो एकजनाको चाहिँ दुध बेच्नुहुन्थ्यो अनि त्यसपछि उहाँहरू सबैले के भन्नुभयो भने अब मैले दुध बेच्ने अफिस त बन्द भयो नुवाकोटमा त्यसपछि उहाँहरूले दुध मगाउनु छोड्नु भयो अब दुधलाई चाहिँ मैले स्टोर पनि गर्न सक्दिनँ अरू चिज बनाउनु पनि आउँदैन तुरुन्तै अरू केही बनाउन त मसिन चाहियो त्यो भएर चाहिँ दुध एकदम खेर गइरहेको छ अनि मेरो चाहिँ त्यो फाइनेन्स सहकारीमा लिएको लोन चाहिँ मैले तिर्न सकेको छैन त्यो भएर नाउ आइएम फोर्स टु टेक अझै महँगो ब्याजमा लोन होइन त्यस्तो इस्युहरू चाहिँ देख्यो होइन केराको पनि त्यही थियो अब पाकेपछि केरा के गर्ने होइन त्यो भयो अनि त्यसपछि यो वेस्ट सेक्टरमा पनि एकजना दाइ हुनुहुन्थ्यो जसले चाहिँ जब कि सरकारले चाहिँ यो सबै बिजनेसहरूलाई चाहिँ सहुलियत दिनको लागि 5% लोनमा चाहिँ दिनुपर्छ भन्ने कुराहरू आइरहेको थियो यहाँ ठुल्ठुलो इन्डस्ट्रीहरू चाहिँ गएर सरकारसँग यो त्यो हामीलाई चाहिँ छुट चाहियो भनेर चाहिँ लबिङ भइरहेको थियो हाम्रो लोनहरू चाहिँ एक्सटेन्ड गरिदिनु पर्यो भनिरहेको थियो तर गाउँको सानो एन्टरप्राइजहरू चाहिँ एक्चुअली 5% त कुरै छोडिदिउँ झन् गाउँमा चाहिँ लाइक 25%सम्म लोनमा लिइरहेको छु भन्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यो दिदीले र अनि यता फेरि वेस्ट सेक्टरको दाइले चाहिँ 36%मा लोन लिएर काम चलाइराख्नु भएको थियो कि भनेपछि जो अलरेडी कमजोर छ जोसँग जग्गा छैन कोलाट्रल राख्नलाई छैन जोसँग ब्याङ्कको पहुँच छैन जसले ब्याङ्कमा जानै डराउँछ त्यस्तोहरूलाई चाहिँ अझै धेरै एडभर्सली इम्प्याक्ट गरेको छ यो क्राइसिसले अनि उहाँहरूको चाहिँ आफ्नो एसेटको पनि इन्सुरेन्स छैन हेल्थ इन्सुरेन्स छैन त्यो सबै कुराले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एकदम इम्प्याक्ट परेको देखिन्छ र त्यसमाथि झन् वुमेन रन एन्टरप्राइजहरूलाई त झन् वुमेनको साइकोलोजिकल्ली पनि वुमेनलाई बढी इम्प्याक्ट पर्यो घरको कामको लोड बढ्यो होइन अनि त्यसपछि भाइलेन्स बढ्यो त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ अनि वुमेन रन बिजनेसहरू चाहिँ धेरैजना चाहिँ सटडाउन हुन परेको अथवा वर्षौँ 8-10 वर्ष लगाएर गरेको सेभिङ्स चाहिँ एउटा टेम्पो चलाउने दिदीको केस थियो काठमाडौँकै उहाँले चाहिँ 8-10 वर्ष लगाएर चाहिँ बल्ल बल्ल आफू र आफ्नो छोरीहरूलाई चाहिँ गरिबीबाट निकालेर लाइक सी वाज अर्निङ 1-1.5 लाख रुपियाँ पर मन्थ अनि त्यसपछि लकडाउन सुरु भएको 2-3 महिनामा नै उहाँको सबै सेभिङ्स सिद्धिएर पनि उहाँलाई अलरेडी 5 लाख रुपियाँको लोन लागिसकेको थियो सो त्यसरी चाहिँ स्मल एन्टरप्राइजहरूको रोल यति ठुलो हुँदाहुँदै पनि उनीहरूको भोइस नपुग्ने उनीहरूको पक्षबाट कोही नबोल्दिने होइन लाइक ठुल्ठुलो बिजनेस एसोसिएसनहरू पनि लाइक ठुलो इन्डस्ट्रीहरूकै पक्षमा बोल्ने भएर चाहिँ यो सेक्टर यति इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुँदाहुँदै पनि यहाँ चाहिँ धेरै नै इम्प्याक्ट परेको छ र अर्को चाहिँ हाम्रो आफ्नै पर्सनल एक्सपिरियन्स पनि वेस्टको त मैले भनिहालेँ वेस्टमा पनि सबैजना अब यो काम रोक्न पनि मिल्दैन कोभिडमा दे हेभ टु कन्टिन्यू इट अनि त्यसपछि व्यापार ठप्प भए पनि दे हेभ टु सेग्रिगेट द वेस्ट द्याट इज बिङ जेनेरेटेड एभ्री डे होइन दिनदिनै वेस्ट निस्किन्छ तर त्यसलाई रोक्नै मिल्दैन त्यसलाई छान्नै पर्छ त्यसलाई पठाउनै पर्छ पैसा आओस् नआओस् दिस बिजनेसेस हेभ टु रन होइन त्यस्तै अर्को दिदीबहिनीहरूलाई हामीले जुन काममा पठाउँछौँ त्यहाँ पनि देख्यो वुमेनको काम चाहिँ बढी फिजिकल्ली जानुपर्ने खालको काम होइन जस्तो दिदीबहिनीहरू घर घरमा गएर एज अ मेड काम गर्ने दिदीबहिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ एकदम डाइरेक्ट रिस्क भयो त्यसपछि भोलिपल्टदेखि तिमी नआऊ भनेर भन्थ्यो धेरैजना दिदीहरूले जब एक सर्टमै लुज गर्नुभयो क्या सो त्यस्तो इम्प्याक्टहरू चाहिँ यस्तोमा एकदम धेरै परेको छ र त्यो स्टडी गरिसकेपछि अहिले चाहिँ वी आर थ्रु हाम्री बहिनी हामीले चाहिँ कसरी यस्तो इम्प्याक्ट परेको दिदीबहिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ हेल्प गर्न सकिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ वी आर डुइङ डिफ्रेन्ट टाइप अफ वर्क त्यसमा चाहिँ एउटा भनेको हामीले एउटा दिदीबहिनीको स्टोरीहरू पनि कलेक्ट गऱ्यौँ त्यसमा उहाँको स्टोरी अझ हाइलाइट गर्नलाई भिडियो कम्पिटिसनहरू गऱ्यौँ त्यो पनि छ अनि त्यसपछि अर्को वी अल्सो ट्राई टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द थट अफ कन्ज्युमर्सले के सोचिरहेछन् त डु दे रियली वान्ट टु सपोर्ट स्मल बिजनेसेस उहाँहरूलाई स्मल बिजनेसलाई सपोर्ट गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने थाहा छ कि छैन होइन इफ वी क्यान मेक देम अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड कि सामान किन्नु नै छ भने सानोबाट किन्नुहोस् न सानोलाई चाहिँ हेल्प हुन्छ भनेर बुझाउन सक्यो भने चाहिँ वी क्यान यस्तो खालको इन्कम लस भएको एन्टरप्राइजलाई हेल्प गर्न सकिन्छ भनेर चाहिँ हामीले त्यो अनुसारको अहिले मार्केटिङ एफर्ट्सहरू पनि गर्दैछौँ र एउटा कस्टमर एन्डमा उहाँहरूलाई बुझाउने अर्को फेरि दिदीबहिनीहरू सानो एन्टरप्राइजहरूको आफ्नै क्यापासिटी बढाउने होइन अघि सागरिका वाज अल्सो सेयिङ मैले आफ्नै एक्सपिरियन्स पनि आई रियलाइज कि सानो एन्टरप्राइजहरूलाई एकदम क्वालिटी मेन्टेन गर्न एकदमै गाह्रो आफ्नै क्यापासिटी एकदमै कम हुन्छ होइन एजुकेसन धेरै कम छ धेरैजनाको डिजिटल मिडियममा एक्सेस छैन विभिन्न कारणले गर्दाखेरि यस्तो बेलामा दे आर लेफ्ट बिहाइन्ड सो त्यस्तोमा चाहिँ उहाँहरूको क्यापासिटी कसरी बढाउन सकिन्छ र कन्ज्युमरलाई पनि द पावर यु हेभ एज अ कन्ज्युमर त्यसलाई चाहिँ यस्तो सानो बिजनेसहरूलाई हेल्प गर्नलाई युज गर्नुहोस् भन्ने खालको त्यो मेसेजिङका साथ चाहिँ वी आर कमिङ अप विथ डिफ्रेन्ट कम्युनिकेसनको टुल्स अनि डिफ्रेन्ट मार्केटिङ अप्रोचहरूमा चाहिँ गइरहेछौँ र दिदीबहिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ इ कमर्स साइटसँग जोड्ने उहाँहरूको सामानहरू सप्लाई गरेर इ कमर्स भेन्डरसँग ल्याउन हेल्प गर्ने त्यो खालको कामहरू चाहिँ गरिरहेछौँ र यो सबै हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ लाइक यदि हामीले यस्तो एमएसएमइजहरूलाई चाहिँ अझै सपोर्ट गर्ने हो इन द फ्युचर यस्तो क्राइसिसमा चाहिँ उहाँहरूलाई अझै रोबस्ट बनाउने भने चाहिँ फर्मलाइज हुन चाहिँ एकदम जरुरी छ जस्तो अहिले उहाँहरू दर्ता नै हुनुहुन्न उहाँहरू दर्ता हुनुहुन्न उहाँको स्टाफहरू पनि सरकारको सिस्टममा छैनन् त्यही भएर कुनै इम्प्याक्ट पर्यो भने चाहिँ उहाँले हेल्प नै पाउनुहुन्न होइन सो उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ दर्ता गर्ने फर्मलाइज गर्ने उहाँको स्टाफ पनि कहाँ कति छन् भनेर चाहिँ अनि स्टाफहरूको पनि ट्याक्स तिर्ने त्यो खालको चाहिँ अलिक ल्याउन जरुरी छ त्यो भयो भने जस्तो ठुलो संस्थाहरूको चाहिँ त्यो एसएसएफ सोसियल सेक्युरिटी फन्डको पैसा चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले कन्ट्रिब्युट गरिदिने भन्ने कुराहरू आएको थियो त्यस्तोमा उहाँहरू पनि जान सक्नुहुन्थ्यो अर्को भनेको चाहिँ जति पनि अहिले नेपालमा धेरैजना चाहिँ माइग्रेन्टहरू विदेशमा काम गर्ने चाहिँ फर्केर आउनु भएको छ र उहाँहरूसँग पनि धेरै स्किल छ तर अब उहाँहरू पनि यहाँ जागिर खोज्ने भन्दा उहाँहरूलाई पनि यस्तो मिडियम एन्ड स्मल एन्टरप्रेन्योर्स बनाउन सक्यो भने चाहिँ नेपालभित्र धेरै जब्स क्रिएट गर्न सकिन्छ र उहाँहरू सबैलाई एब्जर्भ गर्न सकिन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ र अर्को भनेको चाहिँ यस्तो सानो एसएमइजहरूको चाहिँ स्किल बढाउन र उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ अझ क्यापासिटी बिल्ड गर्नलाई चाहिँ स्किल ट्रेनिङको एकदमै जरुरी छ जस्तो दिदीबहिनीहरू धेरैजना चाहिँ घर बस्न बाध्य हुनुभयो रिमोटली केही पनि काम गर्न नमिल्ने खालको थियो कि उहाँहरूको काम भने चाहिँ उहाँहरूले डिजिटल कुराहरूमा जस्तो जस्तो मैले चाहिँ आफ्नो इम्प्लोयरबाट पैसा लिनु छ तर मैले अनलाइन पेमेन्ट गर्न लिन आउँदैन मलाई त्यही भएर अब जान नपाएर म चाहिँ 2-3 महिनासम्म पैसा नै लिन सकेन त्यस्तो इस्युहरू पनि थियो तर उहाँले अनलाइन पेमेन्ट लिन सक्ने भइदिएको भए दे कुड हेभ रिसिभ मनी अन टाइम क्राइसिसको बेलामा होइन सो त्यस्तो कुराहरूको चाहिँ धेरै नै निड छ यो सबै गऱ्यौँ र हामी पनि एज अ कन्ज्युमर एज अ एन्टरप्रेन्योर पनि हामी यो सेक्टरमा हेर्न सक्छौँ तर एज अ कन्ज्युमर पनि हामीले चाहिँ इफ वी जस्ट थिङ्क कि एभ्री पर्चेजमा हु आर वी सपोर्टिङ होइन सकेसम्म सानोलाई चाहिँ सपोर्ट गरौँ बिकज द्याट मनी मिन्स मोर टु द स्मलर एन्टरप्रेन्योर्स देन बिगर एस्टाब्लिस्ड वान्स भनेर ध्यान राख्यौँ भने चाहिँ आई थिङ्क यो जति पनि नेगेटिभ इम्प्याक्ट परेछ त्यसलाई चाहिँ अलिक कम गर्नलाई चाहिँ वी क्यान हेल्प देम थ्याङ्क यू
Thank you, Shilshila Acharya. Now moving on. Okay, now moving on, we have Mr. Aashish Khullar, who sits on the board of Children and Youth International CYI, the legal entity of the major group for children and youth MGCY, the official space for young people mandated by the UN General Assembly. After graduating from the London School of Economics, he took an MA International Peace and Conflict Resolution and is currently based in Boston for his PhD in Public Policy at Harvard Kennedy School at Harvard University, USA. Welcome to this virtual webinar. Mr. Aashish Khullar, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. I have some connection problems, so I'll keep my camera off if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I also just wanted to add that, although CYI is the legal entity of the major group, we don't speak for the major group on substantive positions. So I'll just be speaking in my personal capacity and talking about MSMEs. I have also worked with the UN over the past few months, specifically in the Department of Economic and Social Affairs. So yeah, it's the International MSME Day, and this was actually decided not too long ago. I think it was in 2017, where the United Nations General Assembly decided to allocate 27th June as the MSME enterprises, the International MSME Day. So yeah, jumping back to the topic here now, it's important to note that 90% of all firms globally are MSMEs, and 70% of all employment, all formal employment globally is in MSMEs, and MSMEs also account for 50% of the global GDP. So just to think about, it's micro, small, and medium enterprises, but they account for 90% of all firms, 70% of all employment, and 50% of GDP. So that's a very important backdrop to consider while we're having this conversation. Something else also to note is that MSMEs have been the hardest hit because of the COVID-19 pandemic. While they're more agile and have the capability of being more innovative, they also face more risks and are more vulnerable because of their smaller size. It's also harder for them to identify international market opportunities and to navigate the complex regulatory frameworks of trade-related markets. So, that's the downside that currently MSMEs are facing. Recent survey by ILO and the ITU came up with some interesting figures which are a cause of concern for the MSME sector. It said that 75% of MSMEs are either expecting or already experiencing a reduction in revenue through 2030. In addition to this, it also said that 9 in 10 MSMEs are facing a severe shortage in cash flow. Something else, when we further disaggregate this information, we find that MSMEs led by women are more likely to be negatively affected by these drawbacks than MSMEs not being led by women. So, again, these figures that have an implication on SDGs, have SDGs and the indicators and the realization of the agenda in general. Of course, I can get into more details and more disaggregation of this data, but I think the larger picture is quite clear in terms of what exactly is happening. It's also important to note that several UN reports have highlighted that MSMEs play a critical role in generating employment and economic opportunities for women, youth, and vulnerable population groups. Something that's more specifically related to young people is that the World Youth Report from 2019 actually focused on social enterprise, where it specifically highlighted the role of smaller scale social enterprises in realizing the SDGs and other UN frameworks, and how not only can they do that, but they can also become a catalyst and accelerator for youth engagement within different functions of the society. So, I mean, I think I don't have so much more to say other than, trying to give this general overview picture. So, to conclude, MSMEs are a significant percentage of the population. They are specifically vulnerable. They are more vulnerable if they're led by women and young people, and there are several reasons one can get into. And they're already facing cash shortages, and at the same time, they provide an opportunity for young people to accelerate their participation and engagement in society, and also work towards achieving the SDGs and the different global frameworks. So I don't have so much more, but I'll be happy to answer questions and get into more details if any of the participants want.
There
Thank
are no
you.
questions as such. I'll get back to you if I get any questions and answers. Thank you, sir. Now we have, last but not the least, Mr. Balkrishna Dahal, an agriculture graduate having keen interest in sustainable farming. He has been working to promote sustainable farming practices. He's a certified permaculture farm designer, co-founder of Mritika Agro Services Private Limited, and also owns his own farm at Kathmandu. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Are you there? Okay, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Let me adjust for the light. Give me a second. Okay. It was such a nice session, and listening to all of you was a great time. Thank you everyone for all of your stories and so much of dedication you have been giving for your enterprise and helping people. Myself representing agriculture, I believe agriculture is one of the major contributors of micro and small enterprises. I want to present the scenario of agriculture, how the agriculture is heading these days. So let me share my screen. So, can you see my screen? Anyone please respond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, thank you. So I will be focusing on youth and their engagement in agriculture in today's session. Here's the data that represents which direction agriculture is heading these days. So more than half of the farmers in US are 55 years or older. The average age of farmers in sub-Sahara Africa is around 60 years. Only 5.6% of all European farms are run by farmers younger than 35, while more than 31% of all farmers are older than 65 years. In Japan, the average age of farmers is 67. The youth in agriculture, entrepreneurship, and agriculture has been measured as a backwater sector of the nation. So this is the story of all around the world. This is the story of US, this is the story of Europe, this is the story of Japan, this is the story of Africa, and we're not very different from this. All young people are migrating to other occupations rather than farming. In Nepal, 65% of the people are directly or indirectly engaged in agriculture, but still the upcoming generation is shifting away from the agriculture. So these are the data that represents the agricultural economic values. Like there is $952 billion of trade in agriculture in China only, and $381 billion in India. Neglecting all these economic transactions, the income, the marketing ability, the entrepreneurship that we can do in agricultural sector, youths are all migrating away from this. So in our context of Nepal, National Youth Policy of 2015 clearly describes youth as a citizen within the age bracket of 60 to 40. And the 40% of the total population of Nepal is youth. But Nepal's agriculture is experiencing manpower and entrepreneurship weakness. People who are not getting laborers, who are not getting technicians, we're not getting essential things in agriculture, and manpower is one of them. Because youth who have more initiative and drive to seek foreign employment. Almost 80% of the youth are migrating from farming occupation. And the average age of farmers is increasing in Nepal too. In developing countries, most youths are highly apathetic towards agriculture. In, all youths are migrating away from the agriculture, but the government is giving efforts to engage more youths in agriculture, to attract youths towards agriculture. Government have been giving intergovernmental trainings, government have been giving tax and VAT exemptions, government has been giving subsidies in loans and other interest, and there is a new policy to give seed fund of up to 20 lakhs for the startups. And there has been, government has been giving minimum support prices, crop and livestock insurance policies, and so much. But still youths are migrating from farming. Why? This is a very big question. There are many sectors, like there are engineers, there are doctors, there are IT specialists and everything else. In today's world, apart from agriculture, all these sectors have been so fancy that youths are migrating away from agriculture to these occupations. And I presented very few data before. The average age of farmers is increasing, and I'm very sad to say, within few more years, in a decade, we will have no farmers at all, and all young generation is shifting away from agriculture. So I want to present few prospects. Like, agribusiness has grown strongly into like 49 billion US dollars as a global industry. There are 21,000 companies with $750 billion of food processing. The global vertical market farming was valued at 3.12 billion in 2019 and is projected to reach $16 billion US dollars in by 2027. There is huge market, and but people are still migrating away from agriculture sector, especially in third world countries like us. The agriculture sector, as we have been talking in small, micro, and medium scale industries, medium scale enterprises, entrepreneurs, the agriculture is major contributors to these type of micro, small, and medium sized entrepreneurs. And the agriculture sector has in the agriculture sector is like 2 to 4 times more effective in raising income among poorest compared to others. Shilshila ma'am was sharing her stories regarding the milk farmers, regarding bamboo farmers, and there are many others as well. So, agriculture sector is one of the major contributors to these type of micro, small scale industries, but still the efforts to promote youths in these aspects is very less. So within this background, I want to share my story in a brief. I myself am from lower middle class family. My grandfather is still a farmer. My father has migrated away from the farming business, and I'm here again into the agriculture business. There are many people with who have similar stories from mine, whose father or grandfather was a farmer, but every one of us have deviated away from farming. So in recent years, there have been so much clashes between government and farmers. Like the previous story said, the farmers have been producing milk, but there is no any mechanism to store those milk when there is a lagging period or difficult situations like COVID, which we are facing right now. And there are more farmers who haven't received proper technical knowledge, proper trainings, and more from the government. In recent years, the government agricultural working mechanism has turned into institutions to share subsidies only. Government have been distributing seeds, government have been distributing plastics, government have been distributing plants, and only that. But the need is the need. But the need is government. Farmers are nowadays asking for technical help more than those kinds of subsidies. So I started a company called Mritika Agro Services, which is basically a consulting company. We from the from after graduating, I started this journey to work with society, to work with farmers, as I was always fascinating. It was always a fascinating idea to work with farmers in the community scale. I always wanted to work with them. After graduation, I started this company, and what we do is we help farmers to solve their problems by visiting their field itself. We go to their farms, we analyze their problems, we help them to how to solve those problems. Like this can be production problems, this can be farm designing level problem, this can be farm planning level problem, this can be like getting subsidies, getting loans, getting insurance, and all of these. We go to the farmers field and help them whatever service they are looking for. So in this way, like agriculture being one of the major contributors of small and micro enterprises, we should support these kind of enterprises and people who have been working in the grassroots levels. I think today from this platform, we are discussing so much things about the issues faced by small micro enterprises and people who are working at the grass level. From here, we should find a way to help those enterprises and bring their stories, bring those unheard stories out in the public. So, okay, there will be a question and answer session afterwards. So this was a quick presentation. I was allocated 10 minutes of time. I would be happy to answer all of your questions. So thank you. This is all from my side. I hope I was clear. If there is any questions, you can ask me freely. I would be very happy to answer those questions.
We'll get back to you, sir, in the question and answer round. Thank you, sir. As you said, agriculture is and macro enterprises. But before moving on, I would like to request our panelists to kindly switch on the camera so that we can take a nice screenshot and have a great memory. I kindly request our panelists to kindly switch on the camera so that we can take a nice screenshot. I think this is it. So here we go. Thank you, sir. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, attendees. Now, the floor for question and answer round is open. You may comment it down in the Facebook Live or write down in the Zoom chat box. So here's a question for Ms. Shilshila Acharya. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
This is the question for you, ma'am. How can we make a profit while also assisting minors?
While assisting minors.
Yes, ma'am. That's the question.
Minors भन्नाले you mean underage बच्चाहरू?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so अब बच्चाहरूको केसमा त we cannot employ them directly in a income generating activity हैन. So employment दिनको लागि त law अनुसार नै you have to have 18 years and above. So direct चाहिँ गर्न सकिएन हैन उहाँहरूलाई, तर again by supporting their mothers, by supporting their families, अनि हामीले चाहिँ यो MSMEs हरू रन गर्दाखेरि when we choose people to work for us, त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ हामीले कस्तो खालको फ्यामिलीहरूलाई चाहिँ गरिरहेछौँ त सपोर्ट गरिरहेछौँ हैन, त्यो हेरेर पनि एकजनालाई इम्प्लोइमेन्ट दिनु भनेको त उहाँको इन्टायर फ्यामिलीलाई नै सपोर्ट गर्नु हो नि त. त्यसरी चाहिँ we can extend our support not by हुन्छ नि directly employing or भनौँ न as a small startup त like scholarship बाँड्ने पनि नहुन सक्छ capacity हैन. Even if we want CSR गर्ने extra business cost बाहेक extra cost लिन सकिँदैन के खासै हैन. त्यो भएपछि then whatever you do it has to be within the realm of the business activity हैन. So त्यस्तो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ जस्तो हाम्रोमा एउटा एक्जाम्पल चाहिँ छ पूर्णिमा भन्ने दिदी हुनुहुन्छ. She was with us 2014 देखि नै. She cannot speak or hear. So उहाँ चाहिँ यो पेट बोटलको सर्टिङको काम गर्नुहुन्छ कि 2015 देखि नै गर्नुहुन्छ र she is really good. She is the fastest किनकि उहाँ कसैसँग कुरा गर्नुहुन्न, चुप लागेर आफ्नो काम गर्नुहुन्छ and she is the fastest and she earns the most के. अनि कहिलेकाहीँ हाम्रो कामहरू बिचमा रोकिदा ओर्दा पनि we always made sure कि we bring her back हैन. So त्यसरी चाहिँ अनि अहिले पहिला एकदम सानो थियो उहाँको बच्चाहरू, अब अहिले त दुईटा छोराहरू स्कुलमै उहाँकै इन्कमबाट पढेर अहिले त उनीहरू पहिला आई थिङ्क 1-2 क्लास जस्तोमा थियो होला, अहिले चाहिँ लाइक 7-8 क्लास त्यस्तोमा पुगिसक्यो हैन. So by supporting her we are supporting her family. I think त्यसरी नै गर्छ.
There is one more question for you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so it is what hit you when you thought of leaving the fully funded MBBS scholarship? So, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah. It's के कुराले हिट भएर I took that decision भनेर भन्नु हैन.
हजुर.
Yeah, first like त्यो path डक्टर बन्ने पाथमा के डिटेल हुन्छ हैन, what does that require me to do. अनि त्यसपछि त्यो एउटा कुरा मैले कन्सिडर गरे त्यो होल इयर भरि I was preparing for that. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ the more I went into that path the more I realized this is not for me हैन. अनि त्यसपछि अर्को चाहिँ लाइक आफ्नो नेचर पनि हेरिकन what kind of things do I want to do र डक्टर बनेपछि गर्नुपर्ने कामहरू कस्तो देखिन्छ र त्यो चाहिँ मलाई ठिक छ कि छैन त, would I enjoy doing that for the rest of my life. हो त्यो हिसाबले सोचेर चाहिँ on the one hand I had environmental science पढ्ने चाहिँ त्यो path हैन. त्यहाँ चाहिँ I would be able to travel, I would be able to talk to people हैन, outdoors traveling हुन्छ नि people सँगको, अनि यो ठुलो एउटा प्रब्लम सल्भ गर्नेतिर पनि म लाग्न सक्थेँ भने. अर्कोतिर चाहिँ there was medical field which is in itself एकदमै ठुलो respected profession हो, मैले त्यसलाई डाउन गर्न खोजेन, तर there were enough people competing there के. I felt त्यो कुराले पनि एकदमै ट्रिगर गरे, like everyone is dying. त्यो प्रिपेयर गर्ने प्रोसेसमै एक वर्षसम्म I feel like nobody के, though I was really top of my class all the time, तर पनि त्यहाँ गए चाहिँ I felt like I was below average student जस्तो फिल हुन्थ्यो के. So त्यो करियरहरुमा पनि त्यही त हो नि. So why are best of the best people just going into 1 or 2 fields अनि यति ठुलठुलो प्रब्लम भएको एरियामा चाहिँ कोही पनि गइरहेको छैन. यो सबै कुरा कन्सिडर गरेर चाहिँ I took that decision.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we have a question for Mr. Balkrishna sir. So as you started, youth are drifting away from agriculture. What are the challenges that you face as an agro-based youth entrepreneur, and what should be the solutions?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I'm still facing so much challenges being a youth entrepreneur in agriculture. My family still wants me to find some job and get settled down. And there are so many people who always keep me saying like, what do you के पढ्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि I say I study agriculture and I'm agriculturist and GTA पढ्नु भएको भनेर they still say those things के अनि त्यसपछि सबैभन्दा मेजर च्यालेन्ज भनेको चाहिँ के रहेछ भन्दाखेरि मैले फेस गरेको गभर्नमेन्ट इज अलवेज सेइङ कि एग्रिकल्चर हाम्रो प्रायोरिटी हो एग्रिकल्चर हाम्रो प्रायोरिटी हो तर फिल्डमा गएर काम गर्ने लेभलमा जाँदाखेरि त्यस्तो के इजिनेस बनाएकै छैन कि पोलिसी लेभलमा इजियर हुने गरी काम गरेको छ न चाहिँ हाम्रो एग्रिकल्चर सेक्टरमा चाहिने इनपुट्सहरुकोमा काम गरेको छ जस्ट वर्ड्स बजेट छुट्याएको छ अघि मैले भन्दै थिएँ मेरो टाइममा बजेट छुट्याएको छ त्यो सबै सब्सिडी बाँड्ने कुरामा मात्रै छ तर एज अ युथ एन्टरप्रेन्योर म जस्तो कति धेरै हुनुहुन्छ हैन म अलि हैन कति धेरै हुनुहुन्छ एग्रिकल्चरमा एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप गरिरहनु भएको अनि त्यस्तो युथ्सहरुलाई चाहिँ मोटिभेट गर्ने खालको प्रोग्राम्सहरु अनि अघि एकजना रोहित वाज टेलिङ कि यु नीड गुड मेन्टर इन यो एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप को लागि भनेर हैन देयर आर नन एग्रिकल्चर सेक्टरमा देयर आर नन अनि त्यसपछि अर्को च्यालेन्ज भनेको चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि आफ्टर माइ ग्रेजुएसन मैले एग्रिकल्चर बिजनेस सुरु गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई निडेड इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अघि इन्भेस्टमेन्टको कुराहरु पनि कति आएको थियो हैन अनि गभर्नमेन्ट इज इन्भेस्टिङ सो मच इन एग्रिकल्चर बट हामी जस्तो युथ्सहरु छौं जसले चाहिँ नयाँ काम गर्न खोजिराखेको छौं इनोभेसन एग्रिकल्चर प्रोसेसलाई चाहिँ हाम्रो अझै प्रोडक्टिभ बनाउने इफिसिएन्ट बनाउने प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ दे डोन्ट ह्याभ एनी प्रोग्राम्स टु सपोर्ट लाइक अस हैन अनि त्यसपछि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ के थियो भन्दाखेरि सोसाइटीले कसरी हेर्छ भन्ने कुरा मैले अघि फ्यामिलीको कुरा पनि गरे हैन फ्यामिलीले पनि अझै मलाई चाहिँ कुनै जब गरेर सेटल होस् जस्तो भन्नुहुन्छ अनि सोसाइटीले हेर्ने पर्सपेक्टिभ पनि एकदम फरक छ कि जस्तो कि कुनै अरु सब्जेक्ट र एग्रिकल्चरमा चाहिँ लाइक पिपल सबैजना चाहिँ एग्रिकल्चर छोड्दै अन्त गइराखेको छ अनि हामी गएर चाहिँ त्यही एग्रिकल्चरमा काम गर्छौं वी क्यान ब्रिङ सम चेन्ज भन्ने कुराले चाहिँ त्यो उहाँहरुले चाहिँ बिलिभ नगरेको हो कि हैन त्यो घरैबाट चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै चाहिँ त्यो विद्रोह गर्नुपर्ने जस्तो कन्डिसन छ कि घरैसँग सबैभन्दा बेस्ट सपोर्ट सिस्टम त घर हुन्छ फ्यामिली हुन्छ तर एग्रिकल्चरमा अनि एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सबैभन्दा चाहिँ घरमै पनि एकदमै धेरै लड्न पर्ने छ कि त्यो कुराहरु छन् एउटा मैले के भने सोसाइटीले कसरी हेरिराछ घरसँगै लड्न परिराछ भन्ने कुरा भने अर्को भनेको चाहिँ फन्डको कुराहरु गरे गभर्नमेन्टले चाहिँ कति धेरै पैसा खनाएको छ तर इम्प्याक्ट आउने रिजल्ट आउने प्रोग्राममा एफिसिएन्ट हुने कुरामा चाहिँ त्यहाँनिर नो बजेट त्यसपछि अर्को मेन्टर्सहरुको कुरा छैन हैन त्यसपछि अर्को भनेको चाहिँ पोलिसीको कुरा पनि गर्ने मैले यो यति कुराहरु चाहिँ एकदमै धेरै च्यालेन्जेस छन् च्यालेन्जेस एकतिर छ तर हैन अर्को कुरा के पनि छ भन्दाखेरि सँगसँगै अघि मैले चाहिँ अलिकति प्रोस्पेक्ट्सहरु पनि देखाएको थिएँ के छ हाम्रो अपर्चुनिटिजहरुको कुराहरु पनि देखाएको थिएँ अनि त्यसपछि अर्को कुरा के पनि इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ भन्दाखेरि सबै फार्मर्सहरु चाहिँ एजेड बुढो मान्छेहरुले गर्दै गर्नु भएको छ अब चाहिँ युथ चाहिँ फार्मरमा ल्याउन सकेन भनेदेखि चाहिँ अबको फ्युचर छैन भन्ने कुराले पनि आई एम इन्टु हियर हैन यसमै छौं अनि अर्को एउटा कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा टिम छ अनि हामीले के गरेछ भन्दाखेरि एग्रिकल्चरलाई चाहिँ कसरी फ्यान्सी बनाउन सकिन्छ भन्ने कुरामा एग्रिकल्चर फ्यान्सी छ मान्छेहरुलाई चाहिँ त्यो फ्यान्सी छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ थाहा छैन कि जस्तो के भइराछ भन्दाखेरि हामीले चाहिँ युज गरिराखेको स्वेटर के आउँछ हामीले फार्मिङ गरेको ठाउँबाट आउँछ हामीले खाइराखेको खाना के आउँछ हाम्रो रुरल कम्युनिटिजहरुमा डिफरेन्ट डाइभर्सिटीको फुड क्रप्स ग्रो भएन भनेदेखि कहाँबाट आउँछ हैन सबै कुरा चाहिँ छ तर त्यो कुरा चाहिँ मान्छेहरुले रियलाइज गरिराखेको छैन कि त्यही भएर हामीले एउटा यस्तो प्रोजेक्ट गर्दै छौं वर्ल्डमै फर्स्ट अहिलेसम्म वर्ल्डमा कुनै पनि यस्तो प्रोजेक्ट भएको छैन जसबाट चाहिँ एउटा रियालिटी सो बनाउँदै छौं हामीले जसले चाहिँ वी वान्ट टु सो एग्रिकल्चर इज फ्यान्सी एज वेल अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ एग्रिकल्चर भन्नेबित्तिकै कुटो कोदालो लिएर जोत्न पर्छ हिलोमै जानु पर्छ माटोमै बस्नु पर्छ भन्ने हैन एग्रिकल्चर गर्दै पनि यु क्यान बी एकदम टिप टप भएर सुटेड बुटेड भएर पनि एग्रिकल्चर गर्न पोसिबल छ अनि अबको हाम्रो एग्रिकल्चरको फ्युचर चाहिँ त्यो हुनुपर्छ हाम्रो फार्मर्सहरु चाहिँ जहिले हरेक वर्ष चाहिँ मेरो हजुरबुवाको जेनेरेसनको फार्मर्सहरू चाहिँ के हुन्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि उहाँले एग्रिकल्चरबाट 10,000 कमाउनु हुन्थ्यो भनेदेखि 15,000 लोन लिएको हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि भनेको हरेक वर्ष एग्रिकल्चरबाट नेगेटिभमा जान्थ्यो, माइनसमा जान्थ्यो, हरेक वर्ष लोन थपिँदै जान्थ्यो। अघि सुशीलाजीले भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँले चाहिँ कोअपरेटिभबाट लोन लिनुहुन्छ अनि त्यो लोन तिर्न नसकेर झन् बढी ब्याजमा लोन लिएर गर्नुहुन्छ भने त्यस्तै सिचुएसन्सहरू थियो होइन। तर त्यो मात्र होइन, एग्रिकल्चरको अर्को पाटो पनि छ, सो मच फ्यान्सी होइन। अहिले कति धेरै भर्टिकल फार्म्सहरू सुरु भएको छ। अघि सागरिकाजीले पनि भन्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो रुफटप फार्म्सहरू सुरु भइसकेको छ भनेको दिस इज सो मच फ्यान्सी पनि छ। यो कुरा चाहिँ मैले सोल्युसन भन्दै थिएँ। अबको युथ्सहरूलाई अनि के गरिदिनु पर्छ भन्दाखेरि एग्रिकल्चर फ्यान्सी पनि छ, यो चाहिँ एकदम इकोनोमिकल्ली बेनिफिट पनि लिन सकिन्छ, मजासँग राम्रोसँग लिन सकिन्छ। अनि त्यस पछाडि अर्को चाहिँ के गर्न सकेर भन्दाखेरि जस्तो कि मलाई चाहिँ अलवेज यो कुराले चाहिँ एकदम रमाइलो लाग्थ्यो कि जस्तो कि गभर्मेन्टले चाहिँ 2 लाख 5 लाख बजेट छुट्याएर वो नेपालभरिको चाहिँ एग्रिकल्चरमा चाहिँ आइडियाजहरू लिएर आऊ भनेर युथ्सहरूलाई कम्पिटिसन गर्नलाई केही ठुलो कुरै छैन नि त। त्यो लिएर आयो भने कति धेरै आइडियाजहरू आउलान् प्लेटफर्ममा, कति धेरै युथ्सहरू मोटिभेट होलान् अनि सबै मेन्टरसिप गरेर त्यो आइडियाजहरूलाई चाहिँ राम्रोसँग सिप दिएर त्यसलाई एक्जिक्युट गर्नु भनेदेखि हाम्रो एग्रिकल्चर सेक्टर कति अगाडि बढ्थ्यो होला जस्तो लाग्छ कि। थ्याङ्क यू। यही थियो कुराहरू, मैले अलिअलि सोल्युसन्स पनि भने, च्यालेन्जेस पनि। थ्याङ्क यू।
Thank you, sir. I would like to wish you all the best for the reality show. I'm sure you're gonna rock it. So the next question is for Miss Sagarika Bhatta, ma'am. Are you there, ma'am?
Hi.
Hello, ma'am. So the question is, as you said, rooftop enterprises can be the best enterprises, but it's quite expensive. Is there any chance of doing it in a low-cost curve?
Could you please repeat?
Sure, ma'am. As you said, rooftop enterprises can be the best enterprises, but it is expensive. Is there any chance of doing it in a low-cost curve?
It's not that expensive if you look at the chart, how it's going to benefit you throughout years. If you see that, it's just difference how we look, how the thing we invest in it, benefits us in short term and long term. Actually, the investment is for long term. If you're if you are investing for rooftop farm, it's not going to just benefit you for a day or for a month. It's going to benefit you for years. And it's also if you also see how you're investing your everyday you're actually investing every day in vegetables and food. You're going to market and buying products. So this somehow helps to contribute for 1, 2 or 3 days with the packages. Then it's obviously going to benefit you for a longer time economically as well. So I don't think it's expensive. We have we can start in different ways, like if you want a larger farms, you have to invest more. You can also have small farms where you can invest very less and also produce more. So that's your perception and how you see.
Thank you, ma'am. So I hope so these are all the questions. I think we have covered all the topics that to very clearly, so that that's all the questions we have. So for the closing remarks, I would like to thank all of the guest speakers for coming to the program and presenting the views. YFEED Foundation is concerned about young people and creating employment opportunities. We would like to connect young people with experienced leaders of the industries and host meaningful diaspora to benefit overall ecosystem. There are various unique societal bureaucratic industrial challenges in Nepal, and they need specific attention. We have always tried to invest our focus on developing youth capabilities to improve the quality of our industries. The discussion about entrepreneurship versus employment aspect of modern agriculture and development and penetration of IT, impact of service industries in our health, growth of manufacturing industries, clean energy sector, and so on. As we come to the end of our live session, we once again thank all the panelists and attendees for joining us in the live session and hope that this has given us a much clearer view and understanding about the topic. I hope to meet you all soon on the various topics that YFEED will be covering in the coming days. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. I hope this is for today.